What are some very comforting facts? If you make it to the airport without dying, you've already passed the deadliest part of plane travel. Your pets will forgive you if you accidentally step on them. Can confirm. My dog has even moved past the forgiveness stage and now actively seeks being stepped on by standing behind everyone. Probably because of the human apologizing attention the dog gets after being stepped on. Petting animals lowers cortisol. My bird is happy now. It's illegal in Switzerland to own just one guinea pig. You have to have at least two if you want to have any. Guinea pigs get lonely. Can confirm, recently one of 2 guinea pigs died of natural causes, the other one followed her in 2 days. One of our pair died nearly a year ago, while the other is still going strong. The one that died was a bit of an asshole though. The dog estimates the time of your return home by how much of your smell is left in the house from your morning routine. Yep, dogs can tell the time by the strength of your scent in your home. They'll learn when your scent is at a certain weakness, that's when you come home, and that's why you'll notice a lot of dogs prepare for their owners to come home. It's proven if you leave out clothes that smell like you, it'll confuse the dog and they can't do that anymore. Edit for folks asking, this video is where I found out about it. https www.youtube.com watch? VFTR9UUOB channel. I understand what you are saying, but this doesn't explain my sister's dog, who was staying with me for 2 weeks, and who I brought into work with me every day. My God, that dog had some internal clock. After just 2 or 3 days, she got into the habit of coming out of the office, padding across the shop floor and sitting down next to the door at exactly 5:30. You could set your watch by the animal. I was rather annoyed about it, actually. One day a really good customer was just about to make a big purchase. It was closing time, so we both watched the dog wend her way across and flop down. Then the customer said, "Oh, I can see your dog is telling me that I'm keeping you late. I'll come back another time." One that slipped through my fingers. My God, that dog had some internal clock. Might be a watchdog. Bees inform their friends about good flowers nearby by dancing. India's tiger population grew from 1,411 in 2006 to 2,967 tigers as per the 2018 census. Based on the best available information, tiger populations are stable or increasing in India, Nepal, Bhutan, Russia and China. But much more work is needed to protect this species if we are to secure its future in the wild. It's most likely a higher number once you consider that this only counts the tigers that decided to respond to the census. The count is also much higher due to the number of census takers who were eaten. There's a place in Japan called Capybara Land where you can hang out with capybaras and see them chilling in hot springs. Capybara Land is actually close to going out of business due to less tourism in COVID times. They're desperately seeking donations. They should just make a YouTube reality show about the capybaras. Just hidden cameras everywhere, just watching them do capybara shit with some light narration. People would watch that and donate. Sometimes dogs in movies have to have CGI tails because they keep wagging their tails. They are just so happy to be there. I heard that in the movie Cujo, the actor dogs, more than one, I heard, had to have their tail wagging edited out because Doggy was being a good boy. And the dogs had to be replaced by either Rottweilers or costumed humans, I forget, for the really violent scenes because that level of violence was just beyond the St. Bernard's capabilities. The ozone layer is slowly repairing itself. This was the most comforting out of all. Holy shit. Let me make it even more comforting. It's not just magically repairing itself on its own, it's repairing itself because humanity came together and worked to fix the problem. Tarantulas keep tiny frogs as pets sometimes. The frogs eat ants and other insects that the tarantula can't kill, which would otherwise eat the spider's eggs. In turn, the frog gets a place to live and the best goddamn bodyguard you can ask for. I'm just imagining The Rock living with Danny DeVito and needs him to kill the cockroaches cause The Rock is too big. Make The Rock scared of the cockroaches and scream like a little girl whenever he sees one, and add a terrorist hit squad after Danny DeVito because he saw their plans to assassinate the president while he was delivering a pizza, and you have a Hollywood buddy road trip movie half written right there. Cheetahs are very shy animals. So some zoos give them support dogs like those for humans. It's the cutest thing ever. The bigger reason for this is that cheetah's vision likes to hyperfocus. In a crowd like ones at the zoo, they would get anxious looking at each individual and would try to analyze each person, which can be very stressful for them. Dogs are very good at reading groups and crowds. They pair a dog with the cheetah to rely on emotionally. If the dog is calm, the cheetah will trust them that there's nothing to worry about from those crowds. How zoo prevent the cheetah from killing the dog? They're typically introduced at a very young age and imprint on each other. Cheetahs are also not naturally driven to kill dogs as prey. A cheetah could kill a dog, but typically a cheetah would never hunt a dog in the wild. If it was in its territory, or if a dog appeared herded by itself, a cheetah might go for an opportunistic kill, but those are special circumstances. The most likely situation you'd see in the wild would be if they were hunting the same prey and they fought over a kill. Cheetahs are also the calmest and probably most friendly among the big cats. This is probably due to their hunting style and build. They're pursuit predators, and lack sufficient amount of muscle and raw strength when compared to other big cats, which are ambush predators. Source: U2.B. If you turn your back to a cheetah, you most likely won't get murdered. Probably not the same with other big cats. What if you turn your back and then start running? Not sure, but I doubt they'd pursue. Humans evolved alongside cheetahs, so they probably have some sort of idea of how humans work. As in, they know how we lack meat compared to other animals and probably are not worth hunting. They're also pretty fragile, so a human is an even more risky target to them than to other large cats. Most seahorses are monogamous and mate for life. Young seahorses actually go on dates with their prospective partner before settling and starting to procreate. They can also be seen swimming in pairs with their tails linked together. And the puffer fish creates a work of art for his prospective love. One of the most extraordinary things. Next month we'll start to see some images from James Webb. A NASA presentation on the 12th. Our next step on learning about the early universe begins. Sea otters hold hands when they sleep to keep from drifting apart. There is a type of mold growing on around the elephant's foot in Chernobyl. This mold eats radiation, and the radioactivity of the elephant's foot has decreased drastically since the mold started growing there. It's just comforting to me that the planet can heal no matter how bad the scar we left. There was a TV series in the 2000s called Life After People. That's where they got a lot of scientists, engineers, etc. to speculate on what would happen to the Earth if the human population suddenly vanished. It was pretty fascinating that the Earth will basically, very slowly, undo everything we've done. It's not going to help us regarding climate change or anything like that. Because the point is that the Earth can heal itself if given the chance. Zebras rest with their heads on each other's backs so they can literally watch their zebra buddies back. Plus it looks like a zebra hug. Switzerland has implemented a scheme Time Bank, which is an old age assistance program, under which people can volunteer to look after the elderly who require assistance, and then, the number of hours they spend with or caring for seniors gets deposited in their individual social security account. Eventually, when the volunteer reaches that old age when he or she requires support, this time bank can help them by providing time-based services which include consultations, babysitting, hairdressing, gardening, tutoring, or any other time-consuming job in addition to being looked after by a volunteer as well. About 34 countries are trying to apply this scheme. Very wholesome and humane. There is a group of bikers called Bikers Against Child Abuse who support child abuse victims in court by looking tough and giving the kids confidence to testify against their abusers. It's actually an international group. Know that really embarrassing thing you did? Well, there's a high likelihood no one else remembers it. If they do, life will give them far more experiences that one thing will seem like nothing in comparison. I remember, Danielle. I remember, and the rest of Ms. K's class does too. Oh man. The time I stood up in Spanish class while wearing a long skirt. But the skirt was stuck in the chair leg and didn't stand up with me. I was in the front row and flashed all of the Spanish class. The teacher said something in Spanish that I didn't understand at the time, but everyone laughed, and I later found out she said something about me having ants in my pants. The shame and horror never leaves my body. To this day I don't stand up while wearing a long skirt unless I'm holding my skirt making sure it's coming up with me. But I outdid myself in college when in a boring Shakespeare class I raised my hand and asked what fellatio meant after we read it. Some guy said, well, I bet she doesn't have a boyfriend, and I could have actually died. The teacher was mortified for me and I truly blacked out after that and don't remember how I ever went back. I was giving a presentation in 8th grade and tried to say organism and accidentally said orgasm. I corrected myself and moved on, but was so frazzled that I kept doing it. I was almost in tears by the end. In ninth grade, our bio teacher started day one with a lengthy lecture about how someone was inevitably going to say orgasm instead of organism in class. Yes, it's very funny, etc., just as intended. His early discussion took the wind out of the sails, and it was a non-event for the rest of the year.